Sean Justice out of Santa Clara coming the other way, and Hendricks, former lottery pick out of UCF. They're looking for him to take the next step.
This to push out the sides of the box and to become a more complete player.
Here's Hendricks launching from deep, and he nails the three.
And they want.
Highlights as the Utah Jazz beat the Toronto Raptors in the Vegas Summer League, 86-76. But who really cares? Watch a handful of individual players develop. Filipowski, 20 points, 7 boards. Hendricks, 23-9. And we were just wondering, why didn't Hendricks have a bigger game?
We were talking about that yesterday. That was funny. And then I sit down to watch it.
And he goes
sure
off.
enough. Yeah.
Because
Is
probably the
23 and
same
9
thing.
good enough?
It is.
23-9 is, yes. It's,
For
let me check
21-year-old. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Hendricks was 9 of 10 shooting. Filipowski was 9 of 16.
Yeah, Hendricks at one point was 9 of 9. He missed the
last
late
one.
3.
3 of 4 from 3 for him, and Filipowski 2 of 3 from 3.
Meant him 3 of 3 until that last one.
Yep.
Did you ever, when I was a kid, living in New Jersey, you get Christmas gifts. Like I'd maybe get a baseball glove, and it just had to sit there for 3-4 months, and you just play catch with yourself. You take a ball.
I'm not familiar with this concept because I grew up in San Diego.
I know.
And we, Dad's a high school teacher, Mom's a stay-at-home mom. We would get a basketball or a football, and it was from Santa to all of us, right? Yeah, and we would go right outside as 4, 6, and 8-year-olds, and we would play. Oh, we got a football and a basketball.
4, 6, and 8-year-olds. I mean, your parents planned everything to a T. They were so organized.
You have no idea.
Yes, I do.
No, you really don't.
Can tell.
I've given the tip of the iceberg, but there's more where that came from.
But it wouldn't surprise me.
No,
I don't know
would.
specifics.
You're right. It probably wouldn't.
The planned out, logical nature of how we're going to live our life, that's where
Mom said once I start doing diapers, once I'm out of diapers.
Yeah.
Let's have the kids and get through this. Okay.
We flew by the seat of our pants every day. Still do. And so you'd get this glove, right? And you know how to break it in. And I loved being outside in baseball, but you couldn't be outside. And nobody had any indoor things. So I just take the ball, sit on the couch, and just toss it to myself, trying to break it in. And I couldn't wait to unveil it and get outside and see how it was and how it would be when I went out there and played Little League the following spring.
March? April?
April. March. Even April's hit and miss, sort of like here, but worse.
I only know of this by watching Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
The day of the Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
They always played the early day game in Fenway. You see the highlights, and it's like, that is
it's
not
the same weather.
That is not baseball weather.
Right. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like with these young guys, man. I've got them, and I hold it in my hand, and I chuck a ball into it. Mm-hmm. But I want to get out there. I want to unleash it. I want to play with it. I want to get out on the field. I want to see these young guys, including the guys this year, and obviously George and Hendricks and Sensabaugh to a degree. I want to see them play. I want to see what they can do. And if it means losing a bunch of games next year, so be it. Because I'm intrigued by all of them to one degree or another.
And they've got a chance here to have what everybody wants, which is a lot of good players who have size and are athletic. And it's hard to get that. We've all seen, we can list guys who come through just this team or anywhere else in the NBA. He's got size, he's just not that athletic. He's really athletic. I wish that guy had a little more size. And then guys come through with the opposing team, and they got size and athleticism. You think, that guy's going to dominate the league. Why can't he play for our team?
Yeah, I think there's other ways to skin the cat, as they say. I mean, you got a Jokic and a what's-his-face, Doncic, who aren't massively athletic, but they're highly, highly skilled. And there's been a number of players, and it doesn't necessarily relate exclusively to race either. But I get your point. But these guys are. And wouldn't it be cool if they just said, man, we're throwing them out there and we're getting rid of these vets?
Yeah. And for anybody, and we'll get complaints, well, these guys don't really fit together. They don't have to.
Then fit. Find a way to fit.
Find a way to fit. And if they don't, if you're good and you have size and athleticism, the trade market will be fantastic. So you can trade for whatever does fit. These guys probably aren't going to grow old together here in Utah. So
we'll have Locke on, and he'll say, well, you can't give minutes to guys that don't earn it because then it gets chaotic and the coach loses credibility. All right, we'll take the coach out of it. This is coming from management.
Well,
get rid of the vets.
But the other thing is with Hendricks, you do earn it. If you have a bad game, okay, we're sitting here talking about it, but what was going through his head in Las Vegas? When he went back to his room, when he woke up on Tuesday and they had to go through whatever film practice they had to go through, what's he thinking? I think the only reason he came back through with 23-9 is because he was thinking what I was thinking and what you were thinking, what Yak was thinking, what our listeners were thinking. I'm better in this. What am I doing? I got to have a better game. So when that happens in a regular season, if he brings the same attitude, he will bounce back. And they'll give him his 10 or 15 and well, you got to earn more. Well, if he plays like this, he goes and he earns more. So I don't view that as a huge impediment.
Yeah, but he knew he was going to get 25, 30.
Yeah, he played 29 as it turned out.
Right.
But he was good right from the start.
But he knew he was going to get it, though.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if you don't know if you're going to get it, does that add a greater sense of urgency and you put some self-induced pressure? I got 15 minutes. I better show. If I want 20, these 15 better be great. He knew when he woke up yesterday and went over to the Thomas and Mack that he was going to get 30. And so that could be a little bit more of a looser mindset and not put some pressure on him. Like you saw with George in Salt Lake. Jack away, baby. You know what I mean?
He did. He gave himself the green light to launch,
right.
Whether the coaches did or not.
Right.
It's going up.
Right.
I'm not deferring to anyone on this roster.
And he went 5 for 21. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
The idea being that he was playing free. Because this is my team, in a sense, in a summer league, because I'm the most accomplished NBA guy on this summer league roster, which he was, right?
Well, it's possible that, all these guys don't pan out. So one of them does, and somebody's going to earn the minutes. I mean, Williams, Hendricks, Filipowski. I mean, you got Markkanen and Kessler over here, and we'll see what they do with Collins. I guess we'll see what they do with Markkanen.
And those guys are okay players, and Markkanen is better than okay. I understand that, and I'm not advocating throwing him into the Wolves. But do I really want to see John Collins get 30 minutes and Taylor Hendricks get 15? Because John Collins may have earned it in a practice that they had 2 weeks ago?
I'm taking it by the tone of your voice. The answer to that is no. That sounded rhetorical, PK. And I suspect you're not alone. People are ready to move on. But that's what we've been talking about. Will they trade Clarkson and will they trade Collins here?
Well, the answers need to be yes.
Yeah, but we got to July 18th and it hasn't happened yet. Uh-oh. I mean, we know how this moves. There's still time to make a deal. They can still make one.
And you're going to lose either way.
And Markkanen's extension is coming up, and what happens there, August 6, 7, 8. Big days. August 6th is
and
when
we
they
all
make him the
love
offer.
Clarkson, but how about if he had short hair, no tats, showed up to work, didn't give goofball interviews? Are you going to be at the arena this year? Yeah, a lot. I mean, if he wasn't eccentric, how much would we really love him?
That's a good question because we haven't really had a test case. I mean, that is part of his
we've had
lovability.
100 test cases, not with him.
But they haven't been sixth man of the year. I mean, he's also been a really good player for him. I mean, now it just...
Yeah, but it's not, we're
seems
talking
like
about
the
now.
moment, it seems like the moment's just passed
Right.
now. What he can bring to a team at this point in his career, he should be bringing to one of the top 8, 10, or 12 teams in the league.
Right.
Someone who's got a chance, who's going to be in the playoffs, and now is trying to say, well, how do we get to the second round? Okay, how do we get to a conference final? We need more scoring off the bench. And I think they think that, and they think they're willing to trade him, but they've got a price, and nobody's met it yet, so it hasn't happened.
My price
so here
is to allow the younger guys to get out there and do what they do. I mean, Oklahoma City did it a couple years back. They basically told Al Horford to go home.
Go
Right?
to your home.
And then he's
Are you too good for your home?
winning a title in Boston, and he's getting them to the final
Now
and all that stuff.
we have seen teams do that. Like, we're going to the next generation. Now, Horford's a more extreme example, but that's essentially what San Antonio did with DeJounte Murray. You're a nice
Well,
player.
they traded him,
Go
though.
over there and play there. Right.
Yeah, but that's fine. They told Horford to go home. He didn't even play. And he still had stuff to give as he gave to Boston.
We got a plane flight tomorrow. Everybody's got to be there 1, except for you, Horford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been done at the expense of playing younger guys. And then they ship Horford off, or he signs with Boston.
He goes to his home, the Celtics, where he's played for a long time. Go back and have a second run and get a title. But again, a guy at that point in his career, don't be with rebuilding OKC. Be with a team that's trying to go to the next step, which for Boston was a title.
And I'd have to believe, well, certainly Boston was better for it, and I'd have to believe OKC was better for it too.
It looks like it. We'll see where they go from here, but certainly they had a great year last year. So.
Yeah. So why not do that? I'm demanding it.
Okay, all right.
I am.
Jay-Z's making a note to himself. PK demands.
I think I speak for the fans, though. I'm an upper bowl guy. My parents had 11, 9, and 0. After they were told that they couldn't have one.
And then guess who shows up?
Yeah.
Throwing the ball into the mitt kid.
And then he's born a month early. And they bring him home on December 24th. And what do? They put him under the Christmas tree.
We did a similar thing except for the Christmas tree part.
It's freaking like a manger.
Yeah.
And no chance.
Were you swaddled?
I had no chance,
Were
man.
there 3 wise men that arrived?
Wrapped in the swaddling cloth.
I had 3 wise women, my mother and my 2 older sisters.
Well, there you go.
I don't know what this has to do with the Jazz going young, but I'm sure there was a tie somewhere.
It's time to unleash the youth.
Unleash the hounds!
Yeah.
Unleash the youth!
And we're going to have the old-timers just because, they may be a little bit, are they really better or are they just older?
No, they're here because the price wasn't met.
Well, I mean, they traded for Collins. They didn't have to do that.
They did not. Looking to flip him.
Well, flip them already.
I'm ready. I'm with you.
If they start those guys and they're looking to flip them and they start those guys, I'm going to flip them off.
Well, if they don't get their price now, do they wait 10, 15, 20 games in, see if some team has an injury? Some team needs somebody, comes calling?
Watching Hendricks, I want to see him go. I want to see Cody Williams go. I want to see Collier go. I want to see George go.
Send them to the Clippers. They need somebody.
I want to see these dudes now. Wouldn't they be better off for it in 25, 26, and 26, 27?
If these guys are who we hope they are, yes.
Wouldn't they be better off for it either way?
Find out these guys aren't who they are?
Yeah.
Or are these guys getting thrown in too early? You're going to destroy them by throwing them in too early.
That cliche is ridiculous. That is so weak. If you're that weak-minded, then I don't want you
are going to make it anyway. But see, that's the thing you got to like about Hendricks. Really bad game. Thought about it for 48 hours. Came out and had a really good game. Have some fight. Battle back.
Because he knew he was going to get 30 minutes. There was a guy, they threw him to the Wolves right across the street. Not 1, not 2, but 3 air balls in a playoff game. Oh, did it destroy his confidence? Was it going to be he'd never overcome that?
No.
Because that's what the cliche is, and that's what we're supposed to say. You're supposed to get off to a great start, and, you can't throw the young guys to the Wolves because it'll destroy their confidence. How did that work out for Kobe Bryant? How was his confidence?
Well, if that's the only example, then throw him to the Wolves. His confidence was excellent. Mamba mentality.
Right.
We quote it even now.
Yes. And it happened across the street in the same building. If that's not fate, I don't know what is. The same structure.
Being swaddled on Christmas Eve, that would be the same thing. There we go. That would be
chucking
fate.
up air balls. And what did he do? He went right to the gym. And people try to console him. He said, get out of my face. I don't need your consolation. Consolation is a word.
Okay.
Look it up.
It is. It's an alternate pronunciation. I'm sure it is. Consolation. offense.
Let them go. Put out a poll. Put out an X poll. We don't call them Twitter poll anymore. Do you want to see the young guys unleashed, or do you want them to go, and they've got to earn every second of time, or else the whole structure and philosophy of the organization is going to crumble to the ground because they didn't earn that 17th minute, and somebody else who might be better right now today, they deserved it more.
You're such a thespian. I'm not even sure what
What'd
you're
you call me?
Thespian. Acting. Thespian.
Is it what do the fans want, man? I'm the voice of the fans here. I got nothing. I didn't play the game. I've never played the game.
You have two.
I don't know anything about the game.
That's a lie.
I just go from the heart, the gut.
That's true.
And this is what they feel. I know it. I can feel it osmosally. Feel what they feel. I can. And that's what they're thinking. They want to see these cats go.
Osmosally?
Yes. Look it up.
Okay.
Right. You too. Give you something to look up so you don't have to tell me dumb stories in the break.
Better than the stories you're sharing in the break. You depressed us all in the last one. That is.
I'm sorry. I won't give you real life.
It is real life. It is real life. But that's a sad, depressing story.
Here, yeah, and this is an uplifting story. Let the young guys go. Unleash the rabbits. Man, see them run. Wouldn't that be fun?
It could be. I mean, if they don't measure up, it won't. Then it won't be fun. Like, wasted the last two drafts.
Yeah, but haven't we seen enough to think that it isn't a waste?
Well, especially with 6. I still don't think all 6 are going to pan out to the level everyone hopes and dreams, but somebody's going to. And I think more than one somebody is going to. And I don't know that they'll all fit here and that they'll be here forever and all that stuff, blah, 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 because there is
you never know anything.
There is the overlap of, do you need both of these guys? They kind of play the same position the same way. But that's okay. If they're good, you can move them for something and get pieces that fit together better, and that's fine.
Don't you think Hendricks and Williams and George are going to be okay?
George, Hendricks, Williams. You have all those guys play that 8 to 10 NBA year career, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
They all make more than $100 million. I wouldn't be surprised, especially the way the money's going. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they're all passing the eyeball test here really early on. I mean, we're very early on, but I don't see massive red flags with those 3.
If Ainge thinks they're good enough, if Danny Ray thinks they're good enough,
then it's good enough for me.
It is.
Yeah. Especially because when we see the games, the eyeball test, they look like they can do it.
Yeah.
I almost want to push Collier into that group, but I just know with the way he's scoring and looking good right now, when he plays against an NBA defense that's set for him, when there's athletic 7-footers at the rim, okay, let's see if he got a floater. Let's see if he can hit a perimeter shot. Because there are a lot of guys.
Got a floater.
There are a lot of guys who've come in and you do what you do, but then when you're scouted and they're ready for you, it doesn't work anymore.
Right. I didn't want to go crazy.
No, I get that. And he does have something to prove, and maybe he will, and maybe he
do.
won't, and time will tell on that. We need to see more of him.
Yeah.
Okay, so here it is. How much playing time should the Jazz young guys get? Play the best 5. Whoever the best 5, play the best 5 players. Put the young guys in a put them in a rotation, start a couple of them, or unleash the youth.
I love that. UTY. I want to love you, UTY.
Well, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay. When we come back, the Open Championship. 17 hours of daylight. Waves of golfers continuing to golf. On and on they go at Royal Troon. Bob Casper with an update of what you missed overnight. Next, stay with us.
Ladies